Hey, welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller, and while I wanted to start out my channel with a film review, I felt I had to comment on some news that dropped a day or two ago about a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. It's being talked about right now, and I figured if I waited too long, it wouldn't even be relevant anymore. Don't Breathe and the Evil Dead remake's Fede Alvarez is going to be producing what is said to be another sequel reboot thing for the franchise. While I'd love to see Alvarez as a director, at least he has some kind of hand in the production. It's also nice to see Kim Henkel's name still mentioned on the producing end. Brothers Ryan and Andy Tohill have been announced as co-directors for the film. Their only past directing credit seems to be a film called The Dig. I haven't seen it, but I have seen the trailer, and I'll link to it in the description below. It looks to be a dark and emotionally driven nail-biter. The Tohills are from Ireland, and I don't know if that's going to be a factor in their take on the franchise. This franchise is firmly located in Americana, and I don't know if being from outside of the country, if that's going to affect the way they view it or not. Their style is supposed to be down to earth and gritty, which I think fits into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise pretty well. All I'm hoping for is that they take the material seriously and give it their all. I hope they don't see it as just a genre stepping stone to bigger Hollywood films. The film doesn't have a name yet, but it does have a writer attached to it, Chris Thomas Devlin. He has no writing credits on IMDb, and that doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence, but who knows? Maybe he'll write a good one right out of the gates. It looks like they're going with the Halloween film route, and they're going to take only the original film by Tobe Hooper into consideration with this new one. The most interesting part of that news, though, is that they're going to be going with an older Leatherface who's appropriately aged in real time. So that means he's about 60 years old. They say he's going to be bulky and slightly overweight. He'll be communicating with gurglings and pig noises, pretty much like he did in the original. It looks like he's also going to be named Kenny this time. Now, I'm okay with this, I guess. First, the Kenny part. Leatherface has been called Bubba, Junior, Jed, Thomas all through the years. If he's lived this long, he most likely has had to change his name a few times to avoid the law. So I guess Kenny is as good as any name. But I find the most interesting thing is that he's going to be 60 years old at this time. I think while it may feel ancient to some of you youngsters out there, it's really not that old in this day and age. I'm in my 40s, and that's not that far away from me. Who knows what eating human meat all those years does to the human metabolism? It may make him strong as an ox. It may make him younger than ever. As a devoted fan of the series, I can find something to like about even the wonkiest of the installments. I feel the first three or four films in particular really highlight the development and growth of Leatherface from child to manhood. In the first, he's this big childish lout. He throws tantrums and he cuts through the door with his chainsaw, sort of destroys his own things without even really knowing about it. In part two, we saw him with a more teenage temperament as he uses his chainsaw as an extension of his penis. He shows a heavy interest in the ladies and even rebels from his family when the chance of a relationship arises. Then we go to part three, and Leatherface is said to have had a child conceived and birthed from some unlucky victim. This ushers Leatherface into fatherhood and in a more mature and respected position in the family. All the rest of the family members sort of look up to him in that movie. Later in the franchise, things get a little crazy and loose. The batshit crazy Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, that one has Leatherface kind of shifting in tone once again. He's becoming more comfortable with the gender issues that he seems to have struggled with in the first one by wearing male skin and female skin over his face. In this one, he adopts a more Delta Burke circa designing women era look for the latter parts of that film. I consider the Michael Bay remakes to be their own kind of monster, and that deals with its own continuity. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D treats Leatherface as somewhat of an invalid running rampant through the city without a handler, and that's just what he gets by the end of the film. Finally, the pretty tepid prequel that's called Leatherface, the most recent one that came out, that goes back to the beginning, and it tries and pretty much fails to figure out what happened to make Leatherface the Chainsaw Maniac that we all know and love in his formative years. I understand that each of the Texas Chainsaw films were made with its own vision and most likely never took the past films into consideration. But still, in my mind, I like to make it all kind of thematically connect. Here's hoping the elder statesman Leatherface offers up something new that will connect with the fans and the audiences alike. I'm also hoping that we'll get more crazy family members, especially Grandpa, who appeared in one form or another in almost all of the films. He's in there almost as much as Leatherface is. Okay, enough of me rambling on about Leatherface. I could do it all day, I guess. I just love my 80s slasher franchises. What do you think about the news of a new film with an older Leatherface? What's your favorite Leatherface moment? Give me a squeal about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. Live inside.